Hey guys, Chaz Hickox Cross Industries. We got the Mean Mount for the Yamaha show here. I've been waiting forever for this thing to come out because to be honest with you, I've had this show since 2016. Brand new boat, brand new motor. I've gone through everything you can imagine for the Yamaha show. And when Dave said he was coming out with one of these, obviously I was kind of chomping at the bit to get it into my hands and onto my personal boat. The big thing is Yamaha, when it came with, you know, you got the motor stick or whatever they call it. It's a stick with some PVC pipe around it. It's got some rubber in the side of it. You put it on one side. I went through 3 of those, and those things are about 50 bucks a piece. So 3 of those, 150 bucks in the first year I owned it. Wasn't a good investment, and quite frankly, it wasn't a good protection for my show here. Then I went to another brand's motor sticks, right? Again, you can only put it on one side. The way the Yamaha show is, you got a little bezel where you're gonna, you know, put in some grease and stuff like that. So you can't put it on both sides. You can't stabilize the motor. And with that being said, you have a problem with, I had a problem with eating up one of my solenoids for my ramrods. So I mean, it, again, not a good investment. Ended up costing me a lot of money. Ended up having to rebuild part of my trim just because of what I was using, as far as, you know, the hard metal and hard plastic that the other brand had. So then I just went straight to the trailer. Well, the problem with going straight to the trailer is your boat does in fact move on the trailer, and it doesn't matter who says what, your boat's going to shift on that trailer, no matter how tight those ratchets are, so on and so forth. And when that boat moves on the trailer, you're going to have some tension up against that motor. And personally, I don't like that. There's some other people who have, you know, subscribed to a different kind of mindset, and that's cool. But personally, I don't like having that attached to the trailer, knowing the boat's going to move on that trailer ever so slightly, but it is going to move. Not to mention, on the show, you have a really, really thin lower unit. On that really, really thin and sharp-nosed lower unit, a lot of those motor toters that go to the trailer, they end up eating up that front edge of that lower unit on the show. And I'll show you some pictures of mine where you can see I got some gouges out of it just because of those straight to trailer motor toters. So when Dave came out with this thing, obviously I was pretty excited about this. These pieces right here. Now I was using the other brands, you know, the little blue rubber things, and they do wear out over time. Unfortunately, when they wear out over time, that motor starts to move, and I had been noticing my motor would shimmy over bumps and so on and so forth. Now, let me put this down for a second. One thing to notice about these are the Gen 2s. Now you'll notice on the Gen 1s, it was straight aluminum, straight across. And Gen 2s, what Dave's done is he's come in and he'd take this hard rubber and it's bolted in. Obviously it's countersunk, so you're not scratching up your steering. And that hard rubber, if at any point in time, just like all things, if it wears out in the next couple of years, you just contact DD26, he'll send you a new set. So you have a set for life with these DD26 steering locks, and it's never going to wear out. Whereas you can go through over and over and over again with the other sets. And again, DD26 is built to last. It's not built to be replaceable, if that makes sense. So with that being said, let's go to show exactly how this goes on the boat, how it goes on the motor. This whole thing is probably the best way to secure your Yamaha show. And the best part about it, it fits the old HPDIs too. It fits all of this in one unit. So check it out. Now, remember what I was saying. With the show, the way the show's made, you only could do one side and not have that stable of a thing. And actually you're gonna eat up one of the other sides. So with what Dave did is he has a two-sided base going straight to the center, right? So you take that two-sided base with what Dave has made here, right? This rubber, this is the same rubber used on the Mean Mounts for the 4-strokes, for the 2-stroke Mercuries and all the other stuff. that rubber right there, if that wears out, number one, we'll get it replaced. Number two, it's that same rubber that keeps your chassis from going in your gas tank. That's right. So you're gonna protect your gear rather than eating it alive like, say, those motor sticks I was using from another brand. Slip it on. Now when you slip it on, one thing to make sure is that you tilt it up so everything's flush and even. That way you're keeping all the pressure off of those ramrods. Keep coming right back down. So much pressure's off of that ramrod. I'm shaking that ramrod right now on both sides. There's no pressure on those ramrods whatsoever. So that way I'm protecting my gear. All right. Now I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna show you exactly what. Make sure I got these on the right side. All right. So you come in here and you pop this. And they're tight. Have no doubts about it. And talk about motor shifting. Just by doing that lift, my motor shifted just a little bit. Not bad, but actually it might be something I need to check out. But with that being said, pop it right in there, and that thing's solid. I mean, you don't have to worry about that coming out. I mean, it's not necessarily the easiest to pull off, but you don't want it to be. I mean, you're investing in these, so you don't want them to fall off. So that's actually a good thing. And you pop it in on the other side. And of course I turned it too much, so now I gotta go back and shift the motor back. And having them attached is a wonderful thing. So now we just come back over here. Okay, now you see, nice and tight. They're a little tight to get off, but that's a good thing. That's what you want. All right. So now, look at this whole thing. I'm moving the boat more than I'm moving, actually moving the boat and truck more than I'm moving the motor. So keep that in mind. DD26 Yamaha motor mount, best one out there. I've gone through so many with these. I wish Dave would have come up with this a couple years ago when I first got this show. And it's seriously, if you got a show, if you got a Yamaha and you're not running DD26, do yourself a favor, get over to crossindustries.com, go get yourself one, and make sure you get those steering locks to go with it. And you're definitely gonna be taking better care of your motor and adding life to your motor and your entire trim tilt assembly just by adding this one piece of gear. So other than that, y'all take care and God bless.